Right,
again.
there we go.
Oh.
Next building's gonna have a plug-in under the table,
Or in the table, even better.
into the table.
That's what a lot of places do. We're right. Okay, this is the Village of Peotone Village Board meeting for March 10 of 2014. We begin by rising to say the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, would the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Riker.
Here.
Mr. Hupkey.
Here.
Mr. Wicker.
Here.
Mr. Hack.
Here.
Mr. Callahan. Mr. Forsythe.
Okay, let the record show that we do have a quorum present, and we may officially conduct business. First order of business being a review of the February 24, 2014 regular village board meeting minutes. Trustees, I will entertain a motion to approve them, or if you see a correction, let us know what that might be.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion by trustee Hupkey, second by trustee Wicker, to approve the February 24, 2014 regular village board meeting minutes as submitted. Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Hupkey.
Yes.
Mr. Wicker.
Yes.
Mr. Hack.
Yes.
And Mr. Riker.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries, and minutes become the official record. We have, trustees, in your packet, the bills. The payroll for the pay period ending March 1st of 2014 in the amount of $48,072.73. We also have, under accounts payable, bills from the general fund totaling $53,352.89, and the water and sewer fund bills totaling $89,831.28. Now, grand total for those two categories is $143,184.17. Now, I need to note that later on the agenda, we will be approving a final payment for J.J. Newell for the sidewalk replacement project in the amount of $2,452.32. That would be check 29447. I will entertain a motion to pay the bills as noted, but to withhold the check to J.J. Newell in the amount of $2,452.32, pending approval later in the agenda.
So moved.
Motion by trustee Wicker. Seconded by trustee Riker to approve the bills, payment of the bills as noted, with the exception of holding the J.J. Newell check for $2,452.32 until it is approved further in the agenda. Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Wicker.
Yes.
Mr. Riker.
Yes.
Mr. Hupkey.
Yes.
Mr. Hack.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries, and the bills will be paid as noted. We now come to the agenda part for public comment and/or questions about any non-agenda item. Any announcements, Noreen? Okay. Hearing none, we're going to move on. Reports of committees. The police chief is not here this evening. I think he's got something else going on. Engineers report. Troy.
I have an update on the Route 50 Corning Avenue intersection design study. IDOT gave us a second round of comments at the end of February. So we turned those around and revised our plans and calculations and sent them back to IDOT last week. So now it's back in their hands. So we're getting pretty close to the approval of the intersection design study. And once that's approved, there'll be a coordination meeting with IDOT and the feds, and they'll determine the environmental processing that's needed. So we're just moving along.
As
Good.
quickly as we can.
Yes.
with all the bureaucracy that we have. All right.
That's all I have.
Any trustees, any questions of the village engineer? Thank you, Troy. We'll move on the agenda, old business. We have none under new business. We have a parade request from the Peotone Baseball and Softball League to conduct a parade on April 26th. George, you want to?
You know, the board has in their packet a letter from Aaron Ballmer, the Secretary of Peotone Baseball. The Peotone Summer Baseball is planning their opening day festivities along with Peotone Girls Softball for Saturday, April 26, 2014 at the Peotone Park. We would like to do a short parade again this year, beginning at noon, concluding by 12:30. The parade would consist of all of the 2014 boys baseball and girls softball teams walking the route with banners and signs. Parade route will be Blue Devil Drive, north on West Street, west on Corning, south on Mill/Garfield, back to Blue Devil Drive. We'd like to obtain permission to do the parade, as well as request the possibility of a police car to lead the parade and possibly a fire truck or ambulance to end the parade, as they think they've done in the past. So basically, they're asking approval for a parade on April 26th, Saturday, April 26th, at noon, with the route that was described.
And this is the route they have used in the last several years. It's a real short, basically around the block, a long block kind of thing, and back to the ball field. Trustees, I will entertain a motion to approve the request from the Peotone Baseball and Softball League to have their opening day parade on April 26th with the route stated.
Motion.
Okay. Motion by trustee Hack,
I'll second.
seconded by trustee Reichert, to approve the request of the Peotone Baseball and Softball Organization for their opening day parade on April 26th. Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Hack?
Yes.
Mr. Reichert?
Yes.
Mr. Hudson?
Yes.
Mr. Wicker?
Yes.
Okay. Motion carries and approval is granted for the opening day parade. And I would encourage you to, if you're available that morning, to kind of come out. It's nice to see the people lining the route. It typically turns out to be the family members of those in the parade, or some little kids who are looking for candy to be thrown. Next item on the agenda has to do with the Peotone Chamber of Commerce request for the annual garage sale. George?
The Chamber is once again sponsoring the community-wide garage sale that then is scheduled for June 8th. You have a memo attached to your packet. Actually, the date of June 8th is wrong. I thought that was a typo. It's the 14th. I'm sorry.
It's the 14th on the agenda.
Yeah,
so we'll
the
correct it.
information sheet has a typo. I apologize. It's the 14th. In the past, the board has waived the need for a garage sale permit and has exempted this event from counting from counting toward the total number of sales permitted per year. We allow 2 garage sales. This would not be included in that number. And we typically waive the requirement for permit and the $5 permit fee.
Okay, seeing as all the trustees have been through this before, I believe, so it's the usual Peotone garage sale on June 14th. I will entertain a motion to grant the request of the Peotone Chamber of Commerce for the annual community garage day sale on June 14th, 2014, from 8 a.m. till 4 p.m., and the waiver of the usual $5 permit fee, as well as noting this sale will not count as one of the limited number that residents may have during a given year.
Motion. Second.
Motion by trustee Hupkey, second by trustee Wicker, to grant the request of the Peotone Chamber of Commerce for the annual community garage day sale, with all the stipulations noted. Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Hupkey?
Yes.
Mr. Wicker?
Yes.
Mr. Hack?
Yes.
Mr. Reichert?
Yes.
Okay. Motion carries, and the garage day will officially be on again this year. Well, next item has to do with the J.J. Newell final payment we referred to earlier. George?
This is a request from J.J. Newell for a final payout for the 2013 sidewalk replacement program. The company is requesting the release of retainage for the final payout in the amount of $2,452.32. The work has been inspected by Public Works, and they recommend release of the retainage.
So, trustees, any questions or comments?
I make a motion, we pay him.
Okay, seconded by
I'll second it.
trustee Riker. So there's a motion to release the retainage fee to J.J. Newell in the amount of $2,452.32. Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Wicker?
Yes.
Mr. Riker?
Yes.
Mr. Hack?
Yes.
Mr. Hupkey?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries, and J.J. Newell will receive the check, and what we stated earlier, where we paid all the bills, has been fulfilled. Next item on the agenda is a resolution concerning the execution of the contract with Independent Inspections Limited. George?
IIL has forwarded a new contract with rate adjustments. The village entered into a contract with IIL in 2004, and IIL has not had a fee increase since that time. The building administrator for IIL ran a model to review the cost impacts should the village amend fees to reflect the new rates. For the construction of a new 2,380-foot single-family dwelling, the basic fees would increase from $1,674 to $1,842, or approximately $168. The attached resolution authorizes the execution of the new contract with AIL for building administration and inspection services.
So we have then a resolution 13-R16, a resolution authorizing the execution of a contract with Independent Inspections Limited for certain services related to the building department activities as stipulated in the resolution. Is there a motion to that effect?
Motion.
Motion by trustee Ryder, seconded by trustee Hupkey, to approve resolution 13-R16, authorizing the execution of a contract with Independent Inspections Limited for certain services related to building department activities as stated in the agreement. Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Riker?
Yes.
Mr. Hupkey?
Yes.
Mr. Wicker?
Yes.
Mr. Hack?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries and that resolution is passed. Next item related to that is the ordinance. George?
Okay, should the village accept the new IIL contract, consideration will need to be made regarding the final fee schedule. Adopting a new IIL contract does not change the fees collected by the village. If no changes made to the existing fee structure in the village code, the village will absorb the cost increases through lost revenue. The board has long had a position to make the building department as self-sufficient as possible. In accordance with these instructions, I've prepared an ordinance reflecting the IIL increases. Fees have been changed only to incorporate changes in the IIL contract. No additional cost increases have been included. Most of the fees do carry a little bit of cost for the village, to do processing. However, if the rate went up 2 cents per square foot from IIL, that's what we increased the rate, was 2 cents per square foot. If it went up $5 in a lump sum application fee, then we increased it $5. So we just carried it linearly across the board.
Okay, this would be ordinance number 13-26, an ordinance amending chapter 150.00, the building code regulations of title 15 of the Code of Peotone. Is there a motion to that effect?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by trustee Wicker,
I'll
seconded by trustee Riker, to approve ordinance 13-26, an ordinance amending chapter 150.00, the building regulations of title 15 of the Code of Peotone. Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Wicker?
Yes.
Mr. Riker?
Yes.
Mr. Hack?
Yes.
Mr. Hupkey?
Yes.
Okay. Motion carries, and that ordinance is now approved. Had a young gentleman walk in a little bit late. Would you like to introduce yourself? Because
I'm Gabe Hartnett. I'm here to observe you guys for American government class and to see how everything works.
okay.
Spell your last name for me.
Hartnett, Hartnett.
Okay. If you have any questions, we'll answer them.
I'm good. Thank you.
All right. I just wanted to make sure, number one, you got recognized. Now he gets credit for this. And the other part is to clarify to everybody here, because the way he was taking notes, I thought he was another reporter. I wanted to make sure I knew who it was. All right. I'm going to skip down on the agenda for a minute to reminders, and then I'm going to come we're going to talk about going into executive session. But I need to remind everybody that tomorrow will be the first State of the Village message at Peotone High School, where I will present to the community the state of the Village of Peotone. It's the first time we've done that here, and it'll be a learning experience for me. So I think the object is for everybody in the community to have a better understanding of where this board and the administrative staff here have been taking our community and where we intend to go with things in the year to come. So that's at 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock at the Peotone High School auditorium. A fine facility with comfortable chairs and seating for all. So I would encourage anybody watching or anybody else in the community to please consider attending. And you might even want to do that tomorrow night. Having said that, we come to a point on the agenda where we've completed most of our regular business and we have need for an executive session. The executive session that I'm going to call for a motion on has two purposes. One, to discuss collective bargaining, and two, to discuss pending litigation. So, trustees, do I have a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing collective bargaining and pending litigation?
So moved.
Second. Okay. Motion by trustee Wicker, seconded by trustee Hack, to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing collective bargaining and pending litigation. Clerk,
No activity following.
well, I was going to say that after the motion carried. Seeing as George started, we do not anticipate, there's nothing that we're going to vote on after we come out of there except to adjourn. So you don't have to wait around forever. Having said that, clerk, please call the roll on the motion.
Mr. Wicker?
Yes.
Mr. Hack?
Yes.
Mr. Riker?
Yes.
Mr. Hooper?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries, and we're going into executive session for collective bargaining and pending litigation.